Esther chapter 1. So it totally went down in the days of this king named Ahasuerus. Yeah, the one who ruled from India all the way to Ethiopia, over 127 provinces. Total empire energy. Back in those days, King Ahasuerus was chillin' on his royal throne in the palace at Shushan, which was basically like the royal penthouse suite of the Persian Empire. In the 3rd year of his reign, he threw this massive party for all his officials and VIPs, the Persian and Median elites, nobles, and the big deal leaders from every province came through. And the king was like, let me show y'all how totally majestic and baller my kingdom is. And he flaunted his crazy riches and fabulous glory for, 180 days straight. Yeah, 6 months of pure royal flex. And when those days of showing off were over, he hosted another mega bash for all the people in Shushan, from big shots to the common crowd, for 7 more days, in the courtyard garden of the palace. The decorations? Totally next level. White, green, and blue drapes tied up with fancy linen cords and purple ribbons on silver hooks attached to marble pillars. And the couches? Made of gold and silver, sitting on a marble mosaic floor that was red, blue, white, and black swirled perfection. Drinks were flowing, golden goblets, each one totally unique, and royal wine poured nonstop. The king was sparing no expense. Open bar, ancient Persia style. And here's the thing, there was no pressure to drink. If you wanted to sip or skip, it was chill. The king told his staff, let everyone do their own thing, bro. Meanwhile, Queen Vashti threw her own all-girls party in the royal house, the queen's palace hangout spot. So on day 7, after the king had a few too many royal pours and was in that yo I love everybody mood, he summoned his 7 main guys, Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zether, and Carcass, his go-to palace bros. He was like, dudes, go get Queen Vashti and bring her here, wearing her crown and looking like a total goddess, so I can show her off to everyone. She's stunning. But Queen Vashti was yeah, no thanks, and totally ghosted the king's command when the chamberlains showed up. And the king? He went full rage mode, steam coming out of his ears mad. So the king turned to his squad of wise dudes, the ones who are all about knowing the times, aka experts in laws, vibes, and royal drama. The inner circle was stacked. Karshina, Shether, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marcina, and Memucan, the top 7 princes of Persia and Media who always had front row access to the king. And the king was like, so what do we do about Queen Vashti, you guys? Legally speaking, she totally ignored my command when I told her to roll up through the chamberlains. What's the move? Then Memucan stood up and was like, Your Majesty, she didn't just diss you. She disrespected every single noble and every person in all your provinces. 'Cause once this whole Vashti said no story hits the streets, women everywhere are gonna be like, if Queen V can say nah, so can I. And then they'll start side-eyeing their husbands like they're not even royal. All the ladies in Persia and Media, especially the ones around her VIPs, are gonna start talking. Did you hear the queen totally snubbed the king? And bam, we'll have chaos, contempt, and major relationship drama. So if you're cool with it, Your Highness, send out a royal decree. Lock it into the law, no takebacks, that Vashti is officially uninvited from ever seeing the king again. And maybe, pass her crown to someone who's, more queen material. Once that new law drops across your massive empire, all the wives will be like, whoa, and give their husbands some major respect, from high-class nobles to chill villagers. The king and his crew were like, whoa, that actually sounds kinda genius, so he totally went with Memucan's idea. He sent letters to every single province in the empire, in every language, just to be super clear, declaring that every dude should be the head honcho in his own home, and the announcement should drop in whatever language each fam speaks. Esther chapter 2. So after all that drama, when King Ahasuerus finally calmed down, he started thinking about Queen Vashti, what she'd done, and how she got totally benched by royal decree. Then the king's servants were like, "Hey, let's totally scout out the hottest young ladies in the land for you, your majesty. You should send officials to all the provinces to gather all the gorgeous single gals and bring them here to Shushan, straight to the women's house, under the care of Hegi, your beauty concierge. And, they'll get full glam and spa packages too. And whichever babe you vibe with the most, she can totally be the new queen instead of Vashti." And the king was like, whoa, totally into that. So yeah, he went for it. Meanwhile, in Shushan Palace, there was this Jewish guy named Mordecai, son of Jair, son of Shimei, son of Kish, total Benjamite. He'd been exiled from Jerusalem with a group taken by King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon, back when Jeconiah was king of Judah. Serious history there. So Mordecai was raising this stunning girl named Hadassah, also called Esther. She was his cousin, but her parents had passed, so he stepped up as her dad. She was drop-dead gorgeous and super chill. So when the king's order hit and the beauty search began, all the girls were brought to Shushan to the women's house under Haggai's care. And yep, Esther was one of them. And guess what? Esther totally caught Haggai's attention. He was vibing with her big time, so he fast-tracked her beauty treatments, gave her special perks, and even assigned her 7 personal assistants from the king's palace. Then he moved her and her crew to the VIP section of the women's house. Total upgrade. But Esther didn't tell anyone she was Jewish or about her family, cause Mordecai told her to keep it on the down low. Every single day, Mordecai cruised by the courtyard outside the women's house just to check in on Esther. How's my girl doing? He was low-key protective, but totally supportive. And here's the routine. Every girl had to wait 12 months before even meeting the king. 6 months of myrrh oil spa treatments, followed by 6 months of sweet perfumes and next-level beauty prep. It was basically the ancient version of a year-long makeover reality show. So when each girl's big moment came to meet the king, she could take whatever she wanted from the women's house to bring with her into the royal suite. Accessories, perfume, glam squad, you name it. She'd go in for the evening, but by morning she'd be sent to the second women's house, the one watched over by Shashgaz, the guy in charge of the king's concubines. After that, she wouldn't see the king again unless he was super into her and actually remembered her name. Then came Esther's turn, daughter of Abihail, Mordecai's uncle, the girl Mordecai had raised like his own. And she didn't ask for anything extra, just trusted Haggai, the palace beauty expert. And let me tell you, everyone who saw Esther was like, whoa, she's stunning. So Esther was brought in to meet King Ahasuerus in the 10th month, that's Teveth, FYI, during the 7th year of his reign. And the king? He fell hard for Esther, more than any of the other girls.
She was a total vibe.
So he crowned her queen, gave her Vashti's old tiara, and basically said, yep, she's the one. Then he threw this massive bash called Esther's Feast for all his officials and staff, total party mode. He even canceled some taxes and handed out gifts like, it's good to be king. And during the second round of girl gathering, Mordecai was still chillin' at the king's gate, watching everything go down. Esther still hadn't told anyone about her background or her people, just like Mordecai told her not to. She was super loyal, doing exactly what he'd taught her growing up. So one day, while Mordecai was at the gate, he overheard 2 of the king's guards, Bigthan and Teresh, plotting to totally off the king. Yeah, total traitor vibes. Mordecai was like, whoa, and told Esther about the plot. Esther went straight to the king and dropped the info, giving full credit to Mordecai. The palace did a deep dive on the situation, found out it was totally true, and had both dudes hanged on a tree. The whole thing got written down in the royal record book, right in front of the king. Esther chapter 3. So after all that went down, King Ahasuerus gave this major promo to Haman. He's the son of Hammedatha and totally an Agagite. The king bumped him up and made him the top dog over all the other princes. And everyone at the king's gate was bowing down to Haman, like full-on reverence, 'cause that's what the king had ordered. But Mordecai?
Yeah, he was not about that life.
No bowing, no respect. So the king's servants at the gate were like, "Yo, Mordecai, dude, why aren't you doing what the king said?" They kept bugging him day after day, but he didn't budge. Finally, they went and told Haman to see what he'd do, 'cause Mordecai had let it slip that he was Jewish. When Haman saw Mordecai was just standing there, not bowing, not even nodding, he lost it. Like, zero chill. Total fury. But he thought, nah, going after just Mordecai isn't enough. So once he learned about Mordecai's people, he made this evil plan to wipe out all the Jews, everywhere in the kingdom. Hardcore overreaction. In the first month, that's Nisan, by the way, of King Ahasuerus' 12th year, they started casting lots, called Pur, to pick the date. They did this month by month, day by day, until the 12th month came up. That's Adar. Then Haman said to King Ahasuerus, "So there's this group of people, like, scattered all over your kingdom. They don't vibe with the rest of us. They've got their own rules and totally ignore yours. Honestly, they're kind of a liability. If it's cool with you, let's write up a law to cancel them completely. And don't worry, I'll drop 10,000 talents of silver into your treasury to pay for the whole operation." The king took off his signet ring, super official move, and handed it to Haman, the son of Hammedatha, and yeah, he was that guy who hated the Jews. And the king was like, "Dude, the silver? It's yours. The people too. Do whatever you think is best." So on the 13th day of the first month, all the scribes got summoned. They wrote down everything Haman said and sent it out to all the king's officials, governors, and rulers in every province and in every language. It was all in the name of King Ahasuerus and sealed with the king's ring. Major empire-wide announcement. Letters went out by royal couriers to every province, telling them to, get this, kill, destroy, and wipe out all Jews, young and old, kids and women, in a single day, the 13th of Adar. Oh, and they could totally take all their stuff, too. A copy of the decree got posted up everywhere so people could prepare.
Like, wow.
Mass violence. RSVP required. So the messengers booked it out of there with the king's command. The decree dropped in Shushan Palace. And while the king and Haman kicked back with drinks like, "Job well done," the whole city of Shushan was like, "Dude, what the heck is happening?" Esther chapter 4. When Mordecai found out about the royal disaster Haman had unleashed, he was not okay. He ripped his clothes, threw on sackcloth and ashes, total grief mode, and started crying loud in the streets. Like, ugly crying with full drama. He even went right up to the king's gate, but he couldn't go in, 'cause like, you're totally not allowed to show up there dressed in sackcloth. Royal rules, you know? Across every single province, wherever the king's death decree showed up, the Jewish people were mourning hard. There was crying, fasting, and straight-up wailing everywhere. People were collapsing into sackcloth and ashes like it was the end of the world. Esther's glam squad and palace bros came running to tell her what was going on. She was like, super stressed, and immediately sent some new clothes to Mordecai to get him out of that dusty, emotional sack situation, but he was like, "Nah, I'm not changing." So Esther was like, "Okay, let's figure this out." She called for Hatak, one of the king's trusted guys assigned to her, and gave him a mission. Go find out what's going on with Mordecai. Like, what is happening and why is he being so intense? So Hatak cruised out to Mordecai, who was still camped out in the city streets right in front of the king's gate. Mordecai spilled the whole story, everything that had gone down with Haman, including the big bucks he promised to dump into the royal treasury to make the Jewish people disappear. He even handed Hatak a copy of the actual death decree from Shushan and was like, "Show this to Esther. Let her know it's real. And tell her she has to go to the king, beg for mercy, and totally speak up for our people." So Hatak cruised back and gave Esther the full lowdown on everything Mordecai said. Then Esther was like, "Okay, Hatak, babe, go back to Mordecai and tell him this. Everyone, like literally everyone, knows the rule. If anyone, guy or girl, walks into the king's inner court without being invited, they're totally toast. The only exception is if he's in a good mood and holds out the golden scepter. Otherwise, it's game over. And I haven't even been called in to see him for 30 days. I'm seriously not on his radar right now. Hattak reported back to Mordecai with Esther's response. And Mordecai was like, listen, girl, don't think you're safe just because you're chillin' in the palace. You're still one of us. If you stay silent now, help's gonna come for the Jews from somewhere else. Trust that. But you and your fam, you're gonna be wiped out. And who knows? Maybe you were put in that crown exactly for this wild moment. Then Esther sent her final reply to Mordecai. Okay, gather all the Jews in Shushan. Everyone.
Tell them to fast for me.
No eating, no drinking, nada for 3 days and 3 nights. Me and my girls will do the same. Then I'll go to the king, even though it's totally against the law. And if I die, I die. So Mordecai was like, say less, and bounced out to follow everything Esther told him to do. Esther chapter 5. So on the 3rd day, Esther totally glammed up in her royal fit and stood in the inner court of the palace, right across from where the king was chillin' on his majestic throne, all royal and stuff. When the king spotted Queen Esther standing there looking fierce, he was like, swan. So he held out the golden scepter, aka royal approval wand, and Esther walked up and touched the tip. Total protocol, total power move. Then the king was like, what do you want, Queen Esther? What's your big ask? Whatever it is, babe, I'll give it, up to half my kingdom. No cap. And Esther was like, well, if it sounds chill to you, your majesty, maybe you and Haman could, come to this fancy feast I whipped up for you both today? The king was like, yo, someone go get Haman, ASAP, so we can do whatever Esther just said. So the king and Haman rolled up to the feast Queen Esther had prepped. While they were sipping that royal wine, the king was like, so, what's your ask again? Whatever it is, you got it. Even up to half the kingdom, it's yours. Esther replied, okay, so here's my official ask. If I've got your love and if you're cool with it, can you and Haman come again tomorrow for another fab banquet I'm throwing? Then I'll totally spill what I'm asking for. Pinky promise. So Haman strutted out of there feeling like $1,000,000, super hyped, full-on glow-up vibes. But then he saw Mordecai at the king's gate. And guess what? Mordecai didn't even flinch, didn't stand, didn't show respect. And Haman? He was livid. But Haman kept his cool, barely. He got home and was like, party time, so he called up his squad and his wife, Zeresh. Haman started bragging. Yo, check it. Look at all my wealth, all my kids, all the upgrades the king's given me. I'm literally above everyone at court. Then he added, oh, and guess what? Queen Esther invited only me and the king to her banquet. And get this, I'm invited again tomorrow. Just me and royalty. That's elite. But none of this even matters when I see that guy, Mordecai the Jew, just chillin' at the gate like he owns the place.
Ugh.
He totally ruins my vibe. Then Zeresh and all his friends were like, okay, here's an idea. Build a massive gallows 75 feet tall. Then tomorrow, ask the king to hang Mordecai on it. After that, go party it up at Esther's feast like nothing happened. And Haman was like, whoa, love that plan. So he had the gallows built right away. Esther chapter 6. So that night, the king just couldn't sleep. Total Tossin Antonin vibes. So he was like, bring me the royal receipts, aka the book of records. And the royal readers started reading it out loud to help him snooze. And boom, they hit the part where Mordecai totally saved the king's life by exposing those 2 shady doormen, Bigthana and Teresh, who were plotting to off him. The king was like, wait, what did we ever do to thank Mordecai for that? Did we hook him up with anything? The servants were like, nothing. Nada. Zilch. So the king was like, okay, who's in the court right now? And guess what? Haman had just arrived outside, ready to ask the king for permission to hang Mordecai on the giant gallows he built. The servants were like, dude, Haman's in the court. And the king was like, sweet, send him in. So Haman struts in and the king goes, Hey, what should be done for the guy the king totally wants to honor? And Haman's thinking, obviously, he means me. I mean, who else could it be? So Haman said, oh, for the guy the king wants to totally celebrate. You should totally give him your royal outfit, the one you wear and the horse you ride, and like, the actual crown too. Then have one of your top-tier princes dress him up and parade him through the city on horseback, shouting, this is what happens when the king wants to honor someone big time. And the king goes, awesome. Do exactly that for Mordecai the Jew, the dude at the king's gate. Don't leave out anything you just said. So yeah, Haman had to dress up Mordecai, put him on the royal horse, and shout through the streets, this is what happens to the guy the king totally wants to honor. Brutal. Afterward, Mordecai just strolled back to the gate, chill as ever. But Haman? He ran home bawling, with his head covered like, don't look at me. He told Zeresh and the crew everything. And they were like, if Mordecai's one of those Jews and you already started losing to him, bro, you're totally doomed. Like, you're gonna wipe out hard. And while they were still processing that bad news, the king's chamberlains rolled up and were like, time's up, dude. Let's get you to Queen Esther's banquet. And they whisked him away. Esther chapter 7. So the king and Haman rolled up to Queen Esther's second exclusive banquet. Just the three of them. Vibes and vintage wine flowing. And on that second day, over more wine, the king was like, Queen Esther, babe, what do you really want? Like, your petition, I'll grant it. What's your wish? I'll make it happen, even if it's, like, half my kingdom. Then Esther was like, okay, your majesty, if I've found favor in your eyes and if it totally pleases you, please spare my life. That's my ask. And please save my people. That's my request. 'Cause we've been sold out, me and my people, to be totally wiped out.
Slaughtered. Gone.
If we were just being sold as servants, I wouldn't have even said anything. But this? It's next level awful, and it's bad for your kingdom too. The king was like, wait, what? Who's the savage behind this? Where's the jerk who thought he could pull this off? And Esther goes, it's him. That sketchy villain Haman. He's the enemy. And Haman? He was absolutely shook, terrified of Esther and the king. The king got up, stormed out to the palace garden, like, raging hard. Meanwhile, Haman stayed behind and started begging Queen Esther for his life, 'cause he could tell the king had made up his mind, and it was not looking good. Then the king came back in and caught Haman literally collapsed on the couch where Esther was lounging. And the king goes, are you seriously gonna assault the queen right here in my own house? Like, bro, while I'm right here? And the second those words left his mouth, the guards were like, that's it. And they covered Haman's face. Then Harbona, one of the king's palace bros, chimed in like, actually, there's a giant 75-foot gallows Haman had built at his house for Mordecai. You know, the guy who totally saved your life? And the king said, yeah, hang him on that. So Haman got hanged on the very gallows he'd built for Mordecai. And just like that, the king finally cooled off. Esther chapter 8. So like, that same day, King Ahasuerus was like, yo Esther, babe, here's the keys to Haman's house. You earned it. And Mordecai got brought in too, 'cause Esther had just told the king that he was basically her fam. Then the king was like, Haman's out, Mordecai's in. And he handed over the royal signet ring, the one Haman had been using for evil vibes. Esther was like, yes, and made Mordecai manager of Haman's estate. Talk about a real estate glow-up. But Esther wasn't done. She fell at the king's feet, tears and all, begging him to cancel Haman's evil plot against her people, the Jews. And the king? He held out that golden scepter again. So Esther stood up, wiped her eyes, and got ready to speak her truth. She said, okay, if I'm still vibing with you and you're good with this, and if I'm like totally in your good graces, can we please undo that awful letter Haman sent out to wipe out my people in all your provinces? Like seriously, how could I just sit back and watch my people get destroyed? That would be so not chill. Then King Ahasuerus was like, listen, Esther, I already gave you Haman's house, and we hanged him for coming after your people. So now you and Mordecai can write your own royal letter, however you want, and seal it with my ring. Once it's sealed royal style, no one can undo it. So the scribes got summoned in the 3rd month, that's Sivan, in case you're wondering. On the 23rd day, Mordecai dictated the new decree, sending it to everyone, officials, governors, and leaders in all 127 provinces, from India to Ethiopia. He had it translated in every language and script, especially for the Jews. He sealed the message in the king's name with that royal ring and sent it out by riders on royal horses, mules, camels, and speedy dromedaries. It was basically ancient FedEx. The decree said the Jews could totally squad up, defend themselves, and wreck anyone who came at them, man, woman, or wild crew, and even take the attacker's stuff. And this was all set for one day only, the 13th of Adar, month 12. Circle your calendars. Copies of the new law got posted everywhere, so the Jews could be, locked and loaded to defend themselves on the big day. The royal riders galloped out ASAP with this emergency update, the king was not messing around. And the message also dropped officially in the palace at Shushan. Then Mordecai came strutting out of the palace in a full royal glow-up, rocking blue and white robes, a crown of solid gold, and a purple linen cape. The whole city of Shushan was like, "You," and burst into celebration. The Jews were lit, full of light, joy, good vibes, and major honor. It was like Freedom Day times 10. In every city and every province where the new law landed, there was partying, feasting, and straight-up joy. And tons of people were like, we want to be on Team Jew, because honestly, everyone was a little scared of their new favor and fierce comeback. Esther chapter 9. So it all went down in the 12th month, that's Adar, on the 13th day. It was the day when the haters of the Jews thought they were going to win, but plot twist. The Jews totally flipped the script and dominated their enemies instead. The Jews banded together in all the cities across King Ahasuerus' provinces, ready to take down anyone trying to mess with them. And honestly, no one could stop them. Everyone was shook. Even the king's crew, the rulers, lieutenants, officials, were helping the Jews out.
Why?
Because Mordecai had that big boss energy, and everyone was kind of scared of him now. Mordecai was like major palace celeb status. His reputation kept growing, from palace fave to full-on legendary. So yeah, the Jews took up swords and totally slashed their enemies. If you came at them with hate, they came back with righteous heat. In Shushan the palace, they wiped out 500 guys. Total cleanup. And they also took down Haman's 10 bros, Parshandatha, Dalphin, Aspatha, Poratha, Adalia, Ariditha, Parmashta, Arisai, Aridai, and Vajazatha. Try saying those names 3 times fast, bruh. Yep, they took out all 10 of Haman's sons, but, they didn't touch their stuff. It wasn't about loot, it was about justice. That day, the palace staff brought a report to the king with all the numbers from the takedown. The king was like, "Whoa, Esther, your people took out 500 dudes right here in Shushan and Haman's entire bro squad. What do you think they did in the rest of the provinces? So, got another request? You know I'm down to grant it." Esther was like, "Okay, your majesty, if you're good with it, let's give the Jews in Shushan one more day to keep the defense going. Oh, and can we hang Haman's 10 sons on the gallows? For real? And the king was like, "You got it." So the royal order was issued, and they hanged Haman's 10 sons for the full dramatic effect. The Jews in Shushan regrouped the next day, the 14th of Adar, and took out another 300 haters. Still, they didn't touch anyone's stuff. Just business, no plunder. Everywhere else, Jews across the provinces stood their ground too. They finally got peace after crushing 75,000 enemies. But again, not about the loot. They left all the spoils untouched. So, on the 13th of Adar? Yeah, major battles. But by the 14th, the vibes flipped. Total rest day with all the food, all the joy, and all the good vibes. The Jews in Shushan, though, they were still in battle mode on the 13th and 14th. So their party didn't start till the 15th. But when it did, it was straight-up feasting and full-on gladness. That's why, the Jews living in small towns and chill, Unwalled villages totally made the 14th a day for good food, good feels, and sharing snack packs with their neighbors. Mordecai was like, "Okay, fam, we're writing this down." So he sent letters to everyone, like all the Jews across King Ahasuerus' entire empire, near and far. The message? Let's make this a yearly thing, the 14th and 15th of Adar, every single year. These are the days where we totally turn sorrow into stoke and mourning into partying. So let's keep it going. Food, fun, sharing, and gifts for those in need. The Jews were like, heck yeah, and committed to doing what Mordecai suggested, keeping the vibe alive just like they started. 'Cause, like, remember Haman? That dude from Agag, the mega enemy of the Jews? He tried to end them by casting Pur, basically ancient dice, to pick a date for their doom. But when Queen Esther stepped in like a total boss, the king flipped the script, and all Haman's evil plans came back to smack him in the face.
Boom.
He and his sons? Gallows bound. That's why they named the whole celebration Purim after the whole Pur dice thing. It's all in the letter, they said. We lived it. We felt it. We're owning it. So all the Jews, their kids, and basically anyone who joined the tribe were like, we're never skipping this. It's locked in. These 2 days are sacred every year, right on schedule. From generation to generation, every fam, every city, every country, Purim is staying alive. No forgetting, no fading. It's core memory level. Then Queen Esther, yeah, daughter of Abihail, and her main man Mordecai wrote another letter with full royal authority to confirm this whole Purim celebration thing. They sent it to all 127 provinces with good vibes and truth bombs like, hey, peace out and party on. This is official. Purim is locked for these days, just like Esther and Mordecai said. Plus, remember the fasts and cries that got us here. It's part of the story. And Queen Esther's decree? It sealed the deal. All of this got written down in the royal record book, like, forever. Esther chapter 10. So, like, King Ahasuerus laid down a tribute taxes, across the whole land and even the chill island spots. He was running a global empire, no big deal. And seriously, all the wild stuff he pulled off, his total power moves and the whole making Mordecai a legend thing, it's all written down in the royal history scrolls of Media and Persia. Like, check the receipts. Mordecai the Jew? Dude was basically the king's right-hand bro. He was beloved by the whole Jewish squad, honored big time, always looking out for his people's well-being, and spreading peace like beachside breezes to everyone in the fam.